If you've created a podcast or you're thinking about creating a podcast and adding those episodes to your WordPress website, this video is for you. Okay, welcome back. Thanks so much for tuning into my channel. Each week I post a video on how you can grow your business or market your business. If you like that type of content, please click the button and subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. Okay, if you're starting a podcast or you've already started one of the most important things is to make sure people can actually listen to it. The best way to make sure that people can hear the episodes that you are putting out each week or each day is to make sure you have it hosted somewhere. So if you look at my screen, I've gone to Google and I just put in a basic search for podcast hosting. The idea of podcast hosting is that you record an episode, you take that audio file, you upload it to a host. The host will then make sure that that file is optimized for people that come on different devices. They might even be in different countries where their website might not be where their internet might not be as fast, and that's why you want to host. Also, a lot of website hosts don't do well with media files, and they might even slap your wrist a little bit if you're hosting large files on their hosting system. So one thing I found when I was doing this podcast host, I scrolled all the way to the bottom and I saw that Bluehost, which is a website host, they're saying they'll teach you how to do a podcast website or a podcast page, but they're not going to say host the media files with us because it's very difficult to do. So instead, you actually want to find a third-party host. Once you have that host, then you go about putting that audio file on your website. So let's go through a few of these real quick. The first one, let's look at Buzzsprout real quick, just so you can get some ideas of pricing. This would be a third-party host, meaning that you finish your episode, then you upload it to Buzzsprout. You would then take a link or an embed code from Buzzsprout and put that on your website. And that's how your audience can see what you're doing. So I'll go through that in just a moment, but you can get an idea here. So if you're doing more than 3 hours a month, you're going to pay around $12. Let's look at Libsyn. Libsyn is one of the companies that I use. I have a few. I'm always testing something out, but I don't podcast as much as other folks, but I have tons of clients that do. Now, the number one thing here is they start at $5. A lot of people use Libsyn, and with that, you're getting about 50 megabytes of monthly storage. What does that mean? Well, that's a different episode, but for most of you, if you're recording episodes around 20 to 30 minutes, maybe that's 3 to 4 episodes a month. There's other places like Anchor FM. I believe you can start with them for free, I believe. But it's the same idea. You record an episode and you publish it to one of these third-party hosts, and then you can take that link and put that on your website. So now that we've gone through that, the idea that you can put your file on a third-party host and it makes it faster for people that are listening to you, we now need to put that on your website. So let's walk through that. The first thing you want to do is log into your WordPress dashboard. We've done tons of videos of this. You want to go here to post or to page, wherever you're going to put the actual file, and then you're going to add a new page. I've already created a test podcast page for us to do for this example. So no matter where you're hosting that audio file, you have to go log in and get the embed code. And there's some instances where you don't. But for now, I have some old episodes on Libsyn. So let me just kind of show you how this works is that you would log into Libsyn. There's a place right here where it says content. You would go to content and then you could go to previously published. If you have a different third-party host, it's going to be the same idea. You want to see episodes that you've uploaded. Then you would come pick one of the episodes. With this, there's so many different links, but you see here, I want to grab the embed code. Embed code sometimes can make things a little bit easier. And then it gives me options of what I want the embed code to look like. I'm going to try custom. I probably should have tested this before this video, but we're about to find out how this works. So you take the embed code. You would then come back to your test podcast page. One thing I do want to point out also is this is what your WordPress website looks like if you're using the basic Gutenberg WordPress editor. If you're using something like Divi or the legacy WordPress page builder, actually, let's check this one out. It's going to look more like this. So no matter which editor you have, I'm going to show you both ways. So we'll first start with Gutenberg. What I want to do here, because I grabbed embed code, we're going to add a block. And then I'm going to look for custom HTML. Whether you know what that means, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to click preview. Let's just make sure, okay, so this is what it's going to look like. Everything is exactly what I wanted. And as you can see here, this is what it showed me it would look like over here at Libsyn. So if I go back, that's my preview. Let's just go ahead and preview it again in a new tab. It's going to generate a view of what this blog post would look like. And there we go. So someone could come to my website, and on this website, they'll get a pretty good player. So they can press play and it'll show as it's playing. Let's just show you. So it'll show how much I've listened to. I could jump forward 30 seconds or back 30 seconds. And this depends on the third-party host that I'm using. So in this case, it's Libsyn. Now let's do the same thing here. If I'm doing this editor, you really don't have to do anything as far as add a HTML block. You just have to make sure it's on text and not on visual. So now that I've added this, it's on text. I could just click preview and it's going to show me what that block would look like. It's doing a little thinking here, and there it is. The same idea, the same thing happening. Now let's go through one more example because you might host it somewhere else, and this is what I didn't show earlier. So here's the Joe Rogan podcast. I could actually go choose any podcast I wanted and take the code. But for this example, Joe Rogan is, I believe, the #1 podcast in America. So I thought it would be a great idea to try him out. So let's just say we take this one with Elon Musk. All I would have to do, so if you're hosting on SoundCloud, you can either do it through your backend or you could come to the front like I'm about to do this now. And you see here, I can share it. So I could use all these things to send it to someone, but I want to embed. Once I click here, I'm gonna, actually, I could click WordPress code. If I did want to click WordPress code, I could do it how I did before. But I'm just gonna actually close that. Let's just grab the whole thing. And this is playing, so we stop that. All right, now we'll go back here. We're gonna add another block. And for this one, I wanna try this out. I know that there's an embed. I wanna see if this embed from SoundCloud, nope, that's not gonna work. I wanna try something else with SoundCloud. Let's actually take this share link here. I can do the embed. I already showed you how to do the embed, but I wanna see if there's different ways that we can do it based off the player. So I'm just gonna take the share link. I'm not gonna do it the same way. Let's see if this embed, so I just copied that link that I would normally share. Oh, there we go, and it works. So let's just get a preview of this in a new tab. And this is what it would look like of just grabbing the share link. And you can see there's a difference here. So these are both two third-party hosts, but one is with Libsyn, the other one is with SoundCloud. Now I can't do much editing to these, but you can see what's happening. And it would be the same thing here. So on this website, if I were to come here and just put the link, it wouldn't work. So I think that's important to notice that there's multiple ways to do it, and that's why I'm showing both. This link will just show me a link. And then actually, let me just show you, and then we'll come back, we'll grab the embed. So in just a moment, when this page loads, oh, it actually is working. So there we go. I'll take that. So SoundCloud is very smart. Let me show you Libsyn. So let me grab one of these links from Libsyn here. And this would be the one. It would either be the permalink, or you could even try, let's try the embed link here. And a lot of the times these things are just brand new. They're being tested. So I'm going to see what happens when I do the embed link from Libsyn. It may or may not work. And that's why it's important to know that you can use, so this is what I was expecting to happen right here. You see how the Libsyn link didn't work, but SoundCloud was like, we're gonna take care of everything for you, it's gonna work. But you can't depend on that. That's normally not gonna happen. So you wanna make sure, number one, that you can do the embed code with SoundCloud, which you could do just by clicking here, copying it, and let's do the embed code over here. So that's really cool that SoundCloud does both. We could actually do embed, but we would do the same thing. We would just add the custom HTML. And once we have that, we could preview it, or we could just preview it this way, and we know it's going to work. So that's how you actually add any type of, and there you go. And let's see if the player is any different. No, it looks like the player is exactly the same, except this one is more horizontal. As you can see, this one where we embedded with the code, it actually gave us a title below, and this one doesn't have a title. But at the same rate, this is what you would do for any person that it's coming to your website for your podcast content. You would want to post it this way. And I think it's a great thing to do, as well as publishing it to Facebook and making sure people know. But you'd want to add it to your website, take the link from your website, and then use that link and post it on social media, post it on LinkedIn. That way people are coming to your website. So I hope in this video you've learned, one, that you need a third-party host to actually put your video on the web, or put your audio on the web. Once you have it on the web, you can then take the embed code, and in some examples, take the link, put that on a WordPress post or page. Once you have it on that post or page, you could also come in here, and I thought it was self-evident, but I'll just show you just to make sure. So let's just add one more block, and we'll move it up. So let's just pretend that this would be the text about the episode. So of course you would want to write more text. Let's just move this text up. And you would want to write a lot about the episode. And I'm just going to copy this just so you can see multiple. Let's preview this again in a new tab. So you definitely want to come in here, add text about the episode. Most people who read it, they're going to look and they're going to want to know what the episode's about before they just listen to the audio file. So come in here, put information about your guests, let them know what the episode's about, maybe any secret bonuses that they might get for listening. And that's another way that you can improve your listen. So make sure you get third-party host, add the embed code after you upload it to your website. Once you upload it to your website, take that link and you can put that on social media and other places. So I hope this was helpful for you. And I keep going through this whole series. It's a whole series of how you can actually grow your business and use your website to make sure more people know that you're out there. All right, the request of the day, not a question, but the request is for you. If you have a podcast, put the link below, and I would love to check it out and see what type of content, what type of business you're doing, and who your clients are. And I'm always interested to see what type of information people are putting on their podcast. So I would love for you to put a link below, and I'll make sure to follow up. Until next time, have a great week.